Hey guys, hey, welcome back to another episode of Two Drunk Aliens. Pretty sure this is episode 4. As you know, my name's Scott Miller. I've got Ash White sitting across from me.
Scotty Miller, how are you? Good week?
Good week, man, but old South Australia back. I think we had 23 degrees yesterday, Ashman, and now we're back to 11 degrees and peeing down with rain. So we say sorry to our listeners because you might hear a bit of the old rain on the tin roof.
I think just behind my head there, mate, I did come out with the old Alaska hat thinking it's cold enough to wear that one, but the New York Yankees hat won again.
Yeah, man.
So
Hey,
they did have a win today, which was good. They've been belted lately, so...
yeah, I'm sorry. You guys suck. sorry, Maz.
At least we had the good hitters back. So, hey, we did talk about the Australian involvement, didn't we?
Yeah, man. It's been a big week.
In this UFO program thing. I've certainly been listening a lot to Ross Coulthart during the week, and I've tried to decipher a lot of his stuff that, he says in regards to Australia.
Yep.
We've got a lot of room here. That was the one thing that I did hear from his mouth during the week.
Yeah.
That he said that he was on the limits of what he could say, but
yeah, he was pushed because we go back to the Congressional hearing, obviously, so we get to unscrew what's going on there this week. But yeah, you go down that path because you told me that, and I was amazed with that.
It's as he said that there's a lot of room here that we could do lots of things with.
Yeah,
and they're saying at the moment, he's saying at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, that there is some form of involvement in the reverse engineering with Australian
going on in
help, not in the country, but
he kind of leant towards that.
Yeah,
though,
we're not going to say that. I would say what he was saying, that they're assisting in the United States for sure. But
because he turned around and said that the thing is he I didn't realise that he had a background in going over and being embedded with troops. I didn't know that.
In Afghanistan and Iraq.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. And he turned around and said he's built a trust with, the Americans obviously know that he does a lot of good reporting, with the Americans and stuff. And he turned around and he spoke to people, and he turned around and said he's spoken to people that are Australians but also have been involved in reverse engineering. And then one of the guys tried to lead him into saying, well, is it in Australia? And he didn't want to say, and he really backed off.
I know when Jeremy Corbell was really giving it to him.
He was, man. He was, yeah. It was supposed to be just a fun chat with him, but no, he actually started giving it to him,
He
mate.
does fire up, Corbell, doesn't he?
He loves throwing hand grenades.
He's sort of there in the moment, and when he's set on something, he almost gets tunnel vision, Scotty, that he wants to damn a question.
He wants an answer. He wants an answer, yeah.
And he almost gets within a meter. My rule, you don't go within a meter of anything.
Yeah.
But he pushed and pushed, and in the end, Ross said, "Hey mate, I'm here. I can't say anything."
Yeah. And you could feel that bit of pressure coming back across the interview, And me and you have spoken, like, if you were going to do something and you didn't want to do it in the United States, like, we obviously have a lot of military planes coming in and out of Australia. We've obviously got a lot of ships coming in and out of Australia. Obviously, we've got a huge country with a lot of people on the outside where the ocean is, but there's a lot of space in the middle that, hey, if you're going to muck around with some technology, there's probably a pretty good place to do it, mate.
Yeah, and it's so the skies are so clear up there. This time of year in winter,
yeah,
you don't see any rain for months.
But if they're in a little bunker trying to work out how, I'm not going to say UFO works, but I just did. It's a great place to do it, Ashman. Like, I think the old days of the old Area 51 and all that sort of stuff is so well known. Maybe they're moving that sort of stuff elsewhere now, Ashman.
Well, I think there's, even with the Chinese stuff that's going on in the Pacific there and up further up. I was talking to a mate the other day that's working up in the Katherine area. Yeah. And there seems to be, and this is probably more so to do with making sure that we're ready if something does happen. But my other question to that, like, there's 5,000 houses being built for the US soldiers.
Yeah, you like this subject.
There's a 4 to 5 kilometre runway.
Yep.
That's full concrete, so that's got some big stuff coming in.
Sure.
Now, does that mean that the top end of the Northern Territory now gets more attention from you.
Yeah, man. And you got to think about too is like you got the WA coast. It's pretty extreme over there. If I was gonna hide something, I reckon I'd be hiding something down that side of the world, Ashman, down in the old WA.
And there is a base there anyway, isn't there? There was the base, as we said last week, about the submarine satellite detection over from the Indian Ocean.
That's something I'd really like to delve into the next couple of weeks. I reckon
and
that'd be really good.
Stories that Ross has already brought up about those, and
yeah,
that's pretty amazing with orbs that are following ladies home, and also had two of the soldiers that were on the base that brought her home.
Yeah, military soldiers.
Yes,
yeah.
So
military police, I'd like to say. Yeah, military police.
All pulled apart.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, yeah, just diving back into the old congressional hearing last week, there was a few things that came out of there because I've got into a bit of a deep dive, as I usually do. They keep on talking about legacy programs. So that's the back engineering. I always thought that they were talking about like the Lockheeds of the world and all that sort of stuff. But the way they're talking about it, I reckon there's US government programs or Australian programs that are back engineering UFOs.
Are they secret ones though? Or
I think they have to be, Ashman, because if they weren't, everybody would know about it. The way they talk about these legacy programs is like it's part of the US government, but it's not part of the US government.
Yes.
So they talk about top secret clearances. Like once you've got your top secret clearance, you get to hear everything. I think that's a load of bullshit, Ashman. I think there is top secret and then there's UFO secret type stuff. And I think like these legacy programs, like could it be the CIA? Could it be whoever trying to...
I still think they're not high enough. I think it even goes greater. Like
I do too, Ashman.
They're saying top secret is the top ceiling.
I don't believe that.
I'm not convinced that either. And if you listen to Steve Greer, that Dr. Steven Greer,
yep,
that some of the stuff that I'm hearing out of that really concerns me in regards to, like he's really a big player in there in this whole thing in regards to the questions asked for the congressional meeting.
Sure.
So he's got to foot in quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing is that they're getting ready for the legislation to go out to
that next level.
Lockheeds and everyone else to say, hey, you put your guns down and you step away.
Yeah, that Chuck Schumer's putting that through Congress, trying to get that bill put through that if you you got 60 days and then you got 100 and whatever days to hand it over. But these legacy programs, if they're part of the government, do they have to do that, Ashman?
Well, I think the whole thing is where's the money? Where's it come from? I think the black stuff is what they're chasing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is legacy programs the black op programs and all that sort of stuff here? Your stealth programs and all that sort of stuff. Is that part of all that?
Beyond that, you know what they're saying is that the science is 25 years in front of where we are now.
Oh, okay.
So the science of what we're seeing now was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
That was back in 2000.
Well, that makes sense.
So whatever we're seeing now is old compared to what's already out there.
Yeah. If you see it, basically what you're saying is there's something 25 years in advance that you're not seeing.
Yeah, the government's always 25 years in front of where we are as we see it today.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you look at the dog, you know, the dog that walks, that isn't even a dog, but it acts like a dog and it can go.
Oh, the robot. Like you're talking about the robot. Yeah. You sent me something with a damn thing playing table tennis, man. That freaked me I'd watched that 20 times.
Was that real?
That's got to be fake, Ashman.
I watched it 35 times, and the bastard was that arrogant.
I wish we could bring video up. I really do, because you sent me that, and I'm just like, that's got to be fake. If anybody knows out there, I'll put it up. No, I'll put it up on the. I'll get my little guy that's doing my socials. I'll get that to put it up onto Two Drunk Aliens Facebook page and stuff. That's got to be fake, man. Because if that's true, dude, we're done. Like we're done.
Oh, it walked off cocky, didn't it? It walked off.
It's got to be fake. But yeah, you brought up the robot dog. I'm sorry, that makes me laugh, man. If that table tennis player is real, dude, just put a gun on it and let it go out there and be a soldier, dude. Like, don't worry about letting him play in table tennis.
Scotty, the other thing I was going to talk to you about too was would have been back in probably the early 2000s. We were at a Christmas night function down at Para Hills there, which isn't far from the airport, Parafield Airport. And there would have been a group of, they're all family members. There would have been 30 people, I suppose.
Yep.
And then we saw 8 to 10 orbs that just appeared from nowhere. So,
see, can I just, I'm not going to call time out because you hate that, but you've got all these amazing stories I've never heard. Now you're going to tell me another damn friggin' alien story you're about to tell me.
they keep coming out.
That's amazing, dude.
They're stored there, but
Give it to me.
we were all sitting out in the back there, and as I said, this might have been 2002, 3, doesn't matter what it was.
Sure.
But it was Christmas night.
Yep.
It was after dinner, and then, you know, at Para Hills there, you elevated a little bit, but we're on the lower side, so there's still trees and whatever to see over. And then there was like 8, 10, 12 orbs, and it was dead silent.
How big were they?
I couldn't tell how big they were.
But you're not talking orb like the golf ball. You're talking
Shopper size.
Oh, okay, shit.
These were
So a car, like a car.
Yeah, like a beetle.
Yeah.
You know, they were sort of. There were multiple of them. If I said they were red, white, I think they were whitish red, more whitish, I reckon.
Sure.
But there were uncles and cousins that saw it.
Oh, really?
And these things sort of were heading towards Edinburgh, RAF base out that way.
Yeah, sure.
Now, whether they were heading out there or they're going even further north than that, not a sound. There wasn't a.
Yeah, there's no chopper sound around.
There was nothing.
You can hear a chopper. You can hear a chopper from
and these things
kilometres away.
they sort of coagulated, but they didn't stimp in form or anything like that. But
Sure.
these things moved around. Another one of these unexplained ones in Adelaide.
Yeah.
You've probably got something.
No,
floating
I've got
around.
seriously nothing, mate. I've got nothing.
What about your story that we almost dropped?
Oh, no, yeah, we'll get into the second 20. But I just want to click back just to clarify some things out of the Congressional hearing. We finally worked out who the man in the middle was, Ashman.
What's his name?
He's a Chuck. I'm not going to say his last name, but he's the lawyer. He's actually a lawyer. And listening to the interviews this week, where you heard the whistleblower pause, it was actually the lawyer saying behind, "Careful."
Is that right?
Yeah. So when
He's a fairly chiseled man, wasn't he? He was. I thought he might have been English, or he was
apparently a very, very predominant. I'm making words up again, Ashman. A lawyer in the United States. But apparently, when the whistleblower was sitting there, because I only say whistleblower because I keep on mucking his name up. But when he was sitting there, when they were asked the question, he would pause. He had that beautiful pause and say yes, no. Apparently, when the question was asked, the lawyer would turn around and say, "Careful."
wow.
So he would think about and then answer. And then apparently on a couple of occasions, the lawyer actually said no. And that's what the answers where he turned around and said, "I cannot answer that question."
Right?
Yeah.
How good's that?
And that was fascinating to me, Ashman, that like, obviously he's so concerned that if he answers a question wrong under oath, you know, doing the whole American stuff, he goes to jail, Ashman. So they're taking it serious. All these people saying this is bullshit, this is crazy, we've heard all that. No, these guys are taking it damn fucking serious, Ashman.
How long did it take to try to find his surname? Did it start with a Mac or something?
Yeah, Mac. I listened to
his son off. So.
I listened to the interview like 16 times, and then I had to get my wife to come through so she could hear the name. And she's just disgusted with the whole situation. She's going, "I don't know," but yeah, I'm not going to even try his second name. But yeah, it was amazing to hear that you've got the R2 guys from Weaponized sitting either side. You got the lawyer sitting in the middle, right behind Grusch. And yeah, once that question's asked, he's waiting for his lawyer to speak, like to turn around and say, "Yep." And then he knows he could answer that, so no. And then "careful." Apparently that was the only 3 words that the interview that I heard that he uttered. So it just brings a different layer onto it where he's thinking, like, he's not sitting up there, "I'll answer everything what you want to answer." His lawyer's going, "Nah, dude, you answer that, you might go to jail, mate." So yeah, I just thought that was absolutely fascinating, man.
Well, that's good. I hope that we get a chance to start to push some of our content out here, Scotty.
Oh hell yeah, Ashman.
We've been talking about it all week, haven't we?
Yeah, we need to start bringing, and like I had some negative feedback the week prior to going on to Sonny's episode, but then I had so much positive stuff about Sonny. Like I had a bloke reach out to me and turn around and say, "Hey, is Sonny Loom for real?" And I'm like, "In what way?" And he goes, "Oh, do you just get your mate to phone it?" Oh, no. I said, well, I spent a whole 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon chatting to the bloke and all that sort of stuff, and we'd never ever put anything on here that we're trying to make up, because you're just gonna get shot down. So yeah, Sonny was for real, and then this bloke reached out and said, "Well, I had an experience." And I said, "What do you mean you had experience?" And he said, "I haven't told too many people." Then he told me his story, and holy friggin' hell, Ashman, it sent chills down. It just sent absolute chills down my spine, Ashman. It was absolutely amazing. So we might talk about that in the second 20, or we might actually try to get the guy on so he can tell his own story. But yeah, it was freaky, Ashman. There's people hearing this sort of stuff and remembering stuff in their past, like you are. And yeah, I was quietly surprised, because this guy does not believe in ghosts. This guy doesn't believe in the paranormal, and he had this it only happened to him once. It's never happened again. And we had a great discussion saying that a lot of people go out there, like these people that go to the prison, and they go to all these ghost sites to try to find the paranormal. He goes, "Nah, mate, I wasn't looking for it. I don't believe in it." But yeah, it actually happened to the bloke. So I thought it was a great story, man. So I'm hoping I can give his story a bit of justice, and we might tell it in the second 20, we might not.
Yes, there we go. We got plenty of time, haven't we? Look, we've got the Levita there in Liverpool, UK as well. I spoke to him at 2 or 3:30 during the week.
Yeah, we might be going to good old London, mate.
There's a guy called Alan Bates, I think his name is. I hope I'm correct on that one.
Yep.
There's a link there that he's going to send over to us that we can actually have a full chat UFO style from UK.
From UK.
So that one we can record. We might have to get up a bit early.
Yeah, it might be a bit early.
Might be a Saturday morning.
Might not be too many beers drunk on that episode, Ashman.
Might have to make sure that there's plenty of food, mate, for that one. But that one will be good.
Yeah, man.
Just to push us all into the UK as well. I
Blood
think
oath, mate. Blood oath. And hey, the more stories that we can get, the more people that want to speak about this sort of stuff. We haven't had too many alien stuff come back, but we've definitely had some paranormal stuff come back. So
there's probably more paranormal at the minute, which is feeding my ego, which is fantastic.
I don't like that shit, Ashman. I really don't like that shit. I really don't. But yeah, it is what it is, man. If I've got to have some sleepless nights, I'll have some sleepless nights, Ashman.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what happens in the second half.
Scotty. Yeah, mate. We're about to go to break. We're about to hit our 20 minutes. So
we'll shut that down for
we might speak about my negative experience, and we might bring up the old paranormal story, Ashman.
Good stuff, Scotty.
All right, mate. See you in 5 minutes. Hey, man. Welcome back, man. For 5 little break. It's still
Scotty. That's the best break we've had.
Yeah, it's still.
Hey, we've got a red button on the record here too, so we're doing all right.
Yeah, Ashman. We just did 20 minutes, and Ashman forgot to record. Hey, we just want to say thanks to our major sponsor, the White Roo Company, as they fit me out with these amazing shirts and all that sort of stuff. You got some stuff to say, Ashman?
Sure have, Scotty. We've got an online store starting very soon. I would say that hopefully it's up by next week. That's going to take a lot of confusion out about trying to get a T-shirt or a hoodie or whatever. And then the merchandise also for the Two Drunk Aliens, that'll all be on that same online store. That's with Arto Print down at Mile End, Torrensville there.
Arto.
So a big thanks to those guys out there. They've been doing a lot of the background work to help us out here. So
good quality shirts, man. Good quality shirts.
Scotty, just a quick one. I want to thank say good day to the guys in Vancouver, in Whistler. We got Reese and Debbie and Atco there supporting the Australian contingent over there. Thank you very much. We've missed a couple with.
I can't say nothing about Reese because you should be frigging here doing this shit.
We've also missed a couple of trips down with Bauzan there, down at the Bauzan Vintage. So we will be there soon.
We have to.
Mr. Connery will be going. Yeah.
We have to have a bender up at Bauzan's house. I have to take the Friday after work and have a bender up Bauzan. But you also said you wanted to talk about the Table 18.
Table 18 in Hotel Rialto
that was a big night.
Vancouver Island, man, was that something else? Manny and I had rocked up to meet Marty Hall there by 7 o'clock. I think we got there about 6:40. Shit nervous, and of course the lady, the owner there, and I apologise, I forget her name at the moment, but we rocked up and we said, we're here to see Marty Hall. And she said, I know Marty. So
I thought they were Canadian, not American, mate.
Yeah, they're not far different. They're North American.
Nice.
So anyway, yeah, they put us in a table there, and Marty, we could see Marty rock up, and then Rob, the owner, rocked up as well. And
beautiful.
We grabbed a beer, and they shot us straight over to Suite 18 that apparently not too many people get to sit in. So
nice.
Thanks, guys. We had a wicked night. Down at the seafood place there on the water as well. It was fantastic. But hey, just great to say good day to all the guys overseas. There's plenty of Aussies and plenty of Canadians over there. And Scotty, let's ramp into this. We've bashed a few of the minutes out with some bad recording, and we'll just keep it going. Yeah. Scotty, tell us a story, buddy.
I've got the story from the week leading into Sonny Loom's interview.
I had a bit of
a negative vibe from a friend, and very good friend, and I really appreciate his concern.
Yes.
But he phoned me up, and I haven't spoken to him in probably 6 months, I reckon, at least 6-7 months. So he's phoned me up, and he's turned around and said, hey, Scotty, I'm a bit concerned about this podcast you're doing. And I'm like, how so, bud? And he goes, well, you're not worried about people thinking you might be a little bit crazy. And I said, no, I think anybody that really knows me knows I'm crazy and knows I'm not the smartest man on the planet and all that sort of stuff. And he goes, yeah, but you've got a young family, or not a young family, but a family, like your wife runs a little business and your son's at school. And I said, yeah, I understand all that, mate. He goes, you're not worried about what people might think? And I said,
sure,
mate, I'm not understanding exactly what you're saying, bud. And he goes, but yeah, you're talking about aliens, they don't exist. And, you're talking a bit crazy. I heard you talk about Bigfoot.
Was he ringing you off the record, was he? Or was he just ringing on the phone to say?
Oh, he wouldn't know what a record was, mate. He's just phoning me as a mate, just a concerned mate. And I said, mate, I'm not really sure where you're going with this, bud. I said, I go on a Friday night and have a few beers with a good mate of mine. We talk about stuff that we're really passionate about. He goes, yeah, but Scotty, you're not worried about people think that you're crazy and all that sort of stuff. And I said, mate, I don't know where this is coming from, mate. I really don't. I'm really confused. So we're talking for a while. And I'm getting a bit peeved at this time, Ashman. And I'm sitting there with a beer in my hand. I'm like, what the friggin' hell is this guy talking about? And then it dawns on me, Ashman. And this is a bit of a subject. I don't know whether I want to bring it up, but it dawned on me exactly what he was talking about. So I turned around and said to him, I said, okay, mate. I said, I understand what you're saying. I said, where do you go on a Sunday, mate? And he paused a little bit and he goes, I go to church, Scotty. I said, okay.
I thought he was going to say the Gully Hotel.
Yeah, no. He goes to church. He's a very religious man. And he goes, oh, that's got nothing to do with religion, Scotty. And I said, well, I think it does, mate. I said, like, you're obviously a God-fearing man, the big fella upstairs, Ashman. And he said, yes, I am. And I said, well, if aliens are proven to be true, you might be a little bit worried about what that does to your belief. No, Scotty, That's not what I'm talking about. And I said, mate, let's be honest now, mate. I said, I think that's what you're worried about. And he goes silent for a little while. And I maybe started not picking on him, but edging a little bit closer.
Does the good book not bring up anything about?
I'm not sure about
UFOs,
the good. I'm not sure about the good book, Ashman. I went to church for 2.5 years after my pop died to try to find some answers and try to find some questions on life. But I stated to him, I said, like, obviously you believe in God, and I said, there's a book, a certain book, Ashman, that you believe in, and I said, I truly believe right now in this world in 2023 that there is a lot more evidence that there might be little green aliens running around and flying saucers flying around, because we live in a solar system. I think they turn around and says that it's 200 million planets going around suns. So I'm pretty sure we're not the only ones out there, Ashman. And I said, I'm not bashing religion here at all, man. If you go to church every Sunday, and if you go to church every Sunday morning and you gather around your friends with your family and you have a man that stands up and talks for an hour and a half, and it fills your heart full of joy, and you go outside, you have your cup of tea and you have your drink and all that sort of stuff, and you go home and that fills you with joy, Ashman. That's life. Fantastic. I fully understand that. And hey, good on you.
Mm.
But at the moment, that book and God, I think there's a lot more evidence out there at the moment that there might be little green men. And he went a bit quiet, and I think it was the most uncomfortable 20 seconds of my entire life. And we had a bit more of a chat than that. And then it went pretty quiet after that, Ashman, and he didn't talk to me after that, Ashman, and he hung the phone up. And I hope one like day, because he's got a lot of courage, man. Like, he had the courage to think I was doing something wrong, and he confronted me on it, and I tip my cap to him and I say thank you very much. And
Yeah, sure.
hopefully in a couple of days he can pick up a phone, because I know he enjoys a beer, and maybe I'll bring him to the studio and we can have a chat to him, Ashman.
Absolutely welcome here. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and hey, look, we're not trying to bash anything. I'm not trying to put down religion, but what I'm saying is,
Scotty, I think we're fair with everything.
But what evidence walking around now here on the holy earth, Ashman, that of God, like, you know what I mean? Where I see video every day, I see a congressional hearing. I don't see no congressional hearings about that, Ashman. I hear about what we're thinking about.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to bash him, so let's just move on. That was just my little rant for the day.
No, that's good. No, I'm glad you brought it up, Scotty.
Yeah, man. And I'd like to go down, because when he brought that up, Ashman, that made me think so much, Ashman. That made me think about the whole, what you believe in and what you think's right and wrong and all that sort of stuff. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of negative crap going on in this world, Ashman. There's a lot of crap. And I think at the end of the day, if two guys can't go sit in a little studio at Milne Road Studio here and have a few beers and enjoy ourselves and talk about Bigfoot, aliens, and ghosts.
I've seen Bigfoot. Yeah.
I mean, where's the harm in that, Ashman? That's all I'm asking, mate.
Look, I think the beauty of it, Scotty, is we want to push this further and further around the world, don't we?
Yeah, man.
We got Justin Hopper there over in the UK, there in Liverpool.
Yeah, man, for sure, dude.
So I spoke to him during the week. Might have been 2 or 3 in the morning. Trying to pick up a phone call overseas with the kids. And
yeah, nice.
There's a guy over there called Alan Bates, I believe, who's a ufologist or...
Is that a word? Is it? Are you starting to make up words?
Maybe
a
ufologist as well.
A ufologist, I like it.
But
so can we be called ufologists?
Sure.
Oh, I'm going to get a business card made up.
Sure. So I think that if we can get a phone call over from the UK and look, let's hear from him, from the UK.
Yeah. The more people we know with more experience than us, man, the best. Because the great thing about this podcast, we're two drunken idiots, mate. We'd like to hear from someone that can actually tell us what's going on, mate.
Plus the UK's got a lot of nukes as well. So they're going to have a lot of UFO stories that we don't get here. But look, hopefully, as that Northern Territory starts to build up a little bit, we get a little bit of stuff up here as well.
Nice.
Keep feeding us.
But that'd be an early interview, Ashman, if we got to get up and talk to someone on the UK.
Oh, there'll be all your briskets, cooked over the weekend, mate.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, man, that might not be too many beers in that episode if we're talking at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, we might have to start early. Maybe we do it Bathurst Day. So.
Oh no, we're not doing it Bathurst Day. No, we're not.
What about? Have you got any other stories, Scotty?
Yeah, we're up against the clock, but yeah, I'm going to bring this up next.
Plenty of time.
No. I'm going to bring up this next week, man. We haven't got too much time, but yeah. I had a really good mate, Chris, reach out to me after he heard Sonny Loom's story.
Hey, you all.
Hey, you all. he turned around and said, look, is this guy for real? And I said, what do you mean, mate? He goes, well, like, was he just making up stories? I said, no. I said, I sat down with him on the Saturday previous. We had a great chat with Sonny. And I believe everything Sonny said. He sent chills through me, the old spine and all that sort of stuff. And he said, well, shit, hello. And I said, what's your problem, mate? Come on, talk to me. And he said, I got a story, Scotty. I went,
Tell
what?
it, Scotty. Tell it.
We haven't got time.
You've got plenty of time.
We haven't got time to give it the full juice. And I said, what do you mean you got a story, mate? And he goes, well, I don't believe in the paranormal. I don't believe in all that sort of stuff. And he said, I don't go looking for it. And I said, no, neither do I. I don't believe in it, but it scares the living shit out of me. And he goes, well, it does me a little bit. And he told me a story.
Can you lightly touch on it?
I'll touch on it. I'll touch on it a little bit, Ashman. And then
what's it based on, Scotty?
Yeah, he worked in a warehouse. I'd have to say 10, 12, 13 years ago or something like that, where he was doing a work and there was a certain building within the facility that he worked at. They called it, I think it was Warehouse 6. And he hated going into Warehouse 6. And I said, what do you mean you hated going into Warehouse 6? He said, every time I went there was something wrong with the forklift.
All right.
Something would fall off the shelf. Something would happen. And I said, well, that's nothing to worry about. And he goes, well, 3 or 4 weeks later, whatever, a new guy started. Because he was a new guy, they sent him down to that. And that was a place where they just put stuff out of the way just so they could get on with stuff. So it wasn't a heavily used warehouse.
Do you remember the new guy's name?
No, I don't remember the new guy. No. Let's just call him Chuck.
Chucky, he was.
But they sent him down there, and Chuck would go down for a couple of days, and then he'd come up to Chris, and he spoke to Chris, and he said, mate, I don't like going down there. And Chris is like, don't like going down there where, mate? And he goes, down to that Warehouse 6. And he turned around and said, every time I go in there, I feel visibly ill, like I feel sick.
Wow.
And he said, oh, I'll tell you a story. Well, I don't like going down there anyway, but just cut it short so we can so we can clear it off for this week. But it involves little girls with pigtails again.
No way.
And it's seriously one of the creepiest stories I've ever heard, Ashman.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm talking creepy as fuck. It involves a guy that got very upset because they thought it was a prank being played on him.
Is that right?
So I think we'll delve deep into that this week. Next week, Ashman.
Well, I think we make the whole first part of the segment next week on.
Yeah, maybe I could even talk him into giving us a quick call to verify the story, Ashman.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
That'd be fantastic. Yeah. So, hey, this week, Ashman, we've got another giveaway, have we, from the old Roo company?
Yes, there's an orange Elvis.
Oh, beautiful.
Once again, you've got to be a fit large.
Yeah, well, I think the one I'm going to give it to this week, Ashman, might not be a large. He might be a little bit smaller this week. So I just want to do a huge shout out to the Diplocks over there in Thailand.
How's he going? How was the play the other day?
Oh, turn the double play, the little fella. They had a tough week leading in, but they had a huge win today. I think they kicked New Zealand's ass. I think it was 17-1.
Wow.
So they had their first big win. And
go, Aussie, go.
Yeah, and the big fella's over there working, dude. Like, he's playing baseball every other day as a 11, 12-year-old kid, working real hard. So, Ashton, hey, man, we're going to make sure we get that T-shirt to you when you get back, mate, and I hope everything's going really well over there. I'm sure I saw Dipper working in a batting machine. He looked like he was struggling over there. So
still smiling, though.
He's still smiling. He's still having fun. And so, yeah, just want to send out a big shout-out to the Diplocks and to Ashton and, like, hey, congratulations, guys. And, yeah, I think they've got 3 or 4 more games still to go, Ashman.
Yeah, well, that's just a terrific experience. And
12-year-old kid, like, that's just amazing. He's playing for Australia in a different country.
Well done, Ashton. It's fantastic stuff. It's you're proud to be an Aussie. We come from a fairly limited population, and we do punch above our weight, don't we?
We do. And the guys over there, obviously, look, they're playing baseball as kids every other day, Ashman. As adults, we play once a week, you know what I mean? So for them, back it up day and day again, eating different food, living in a hotel.
Scotty, just close out this one on what we're looking at next week. We've obviously got your mate's story. Of
Yeah,
course.
man. Yeah, and hopefully if any other alien stories pop up, Ashman, or if anybody else wants to send something into the Facebook page or the Instagram page or the Milne Studio
And
page.
hopefully we get this this online store up and going by next week.
Yeah, man.
That'd
Righto.
be fantastic to
Hey.
have a bit of stuff out
Yeah,
there.
but if you want to win a T-shirt or if you want to put some input, like, you know, if you don't be worried about it. We don't have to use your name. We can keep it silent and all that sort of stuff. But
We
hey,
certainly need the UFO stories and the
Oh, yeah,
paranormal and
let's just stay away from the damn fucking normal stories, because the story I'm going to tell you next week, guys, like, serious, man. Yeah. I even told my wife, and my wife is the most negative person on this stuff. And even she turned around and said, "Holy shit, that just sent chills down my spine." So it's ridiculous, guys.
Scotty, week 4, we're done.
Another one, Ashman.
Good stuff, eh?
All right, man. Hey, great podcast, man.
You bet.
See you soon.